All right, guys, 2023 Honda Odyssey with 2,000 kilometers. Let me show you on the dash. Yeah, 2014 kilometers. And what I'm doing is replacing the transmission. I diagnosed this thing, had a bad pressure switch, third clutch pressure switch, and apparently that pressure switch is inside the valve body, inside the transmission. You cannot replace that part by itself. It comes with the TCM and the valve body as an assembly. So I'm replacing the entire transmission because Honda wants that transmission back to see what's wrong with it. So yeah, this thing has a transmission fluid pressure sensors third clutch code. When I looked up in the owner's manual, if you're able to duplicate it, which this thing has been doing it a couple, 3-4 times now, it says to replace the TCM, but that TCM is part of the valve body that goes through the front case. Let me show you. All right, so I was saying, you can see this is the TCM right here. It goes through the front case into the valve body. So shop manual is pretty vague. It says to replace with good known TCM if you can duplicate the issue. And there was no, there's a flow chart. It wasn't very long, but it just said if you can duplicate it, replace it with known good TCM. You can't order this TCM by itself. You have to order it with the TCM, the case, the front cover, and then the valve body as a unit. So yeah, that's not happening. So I have to contact Techline, told them what I've done, what I've seen, what I've done. I was able to duplicate it. It happens around 43 kilometers an hour, and it sets that code, and the tranny goes into limp mode. You pull over, sight the key on, off and back on again. It's normal again. And yeah, so they told me, actually I had to wait because they had to talk about this, and they told me that they want this transmission back. Go ahead and put a new one in, and we're going to send this back, and they're going to see what's wrong with this. And yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. I already started removing stuff. Oh, and by the way, if you have a 10-speed transmission, you can remove this cover. There's a fill plug. There's a plug here. You can fill it up easier than filling it in the front. I just found that out now, or not now, but just recently. I've already got the exhaust off, everything up here off. I think I'm just gonna drop it off, drop it with everything on the subframe, cherry pick the tranny off, and then put the new one in, and that's it. So yeah, it's pretty much similar when I did the torque converter on the Honda Pilot. If you haven't seen that video, I guess I'll put a link in the description if you want to watch that. So yeah, other than I'm just having the AC being recovered, I can just disconnect the AC line from here, right? The high side line, it's just one bolt that goes on the bottom. You can just take it off pretty easy. Engine mount, right? Connectors for the PCM, that's right there. Just goes with the engine. Ground cable, fuel line, coolant lines. No mount on this side because it sits on the subframe, so I can just drop it with the entire subframe, engine and tranny and everything. And then there are these hooks you can hook onto the tranny to pull it off. So there's one here, and then there's one on the back right there, as you can see. So yeah, this is these are pretty simple. I don't know, not too hard. So yeah. And the thing with all the suspension too, same thing, just disconnect the lower ball joint. Well, actually, this thing is pretty new, so I'm not dealing with any rust. Yeah, so same deal. Lower control arm, tie rods, sway bar links, and then the exhaust. And then everything's ready to come out. Right, guys, everything is out. So, sometimes when you're set in your mind on how to do things, you end up doing something more, because I had to remove the exhaust manifold. So I honestly thought that since this shaft had 2 bolts, I didn't even remember actually taking a look at it, but I remember there used to be 2 bolts that holds this shaft in, and I can slide it out. But I guess they changed it. So what I had to do is remove the the cat to get myself more space to get that shaft out. But that kind of sets you back. So yeah, there's just one bolt for the bell housing bolt right there. So other than that, everything's just ready to come out. So I swapped over everything. Old tranny's over there, but check out this starter. It's pretty beefy. Look how big it is. Here's my hand.
Holy, that's one small ass hand.
Yeah, but that's a big starter. Some of you are asking if these things have a filter. It's behind this guy. Yeah, I'm not going to take it off the new one because that's the new one, and I can't take that one apart because they want it back to take a look at that one, so I can't mess with it. So, but yeah, the filter is behind this guy. So yeah, it sits in this little cylinder here behind this oil cooler. But yeah, this thing is pretty small. This compared to the 6-speed, this thing is way smaller, a lot less connectors. The torque converter is tiny on this thing. I want to show you the torque converter on the old tranny because I already put this one in. Let me show you the old tranny. Yeah, this torque converter is tiny. Look at it. It's like the size of my hand. But yeah, I already put everything back into the car.